I walk to Burger King, then I walk back home from Burger King.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. I'm running Purple Luffy this week, and my man Tommy over here is running the Sakzuki. We're splitting it up, getting ready for the match. I think this is game 2 of it, and yeah, I think, oh, I forgot about this. So, my man Kyle next to me, I stepped away for a second, and he flipped a bunch of the cards in my deck to mess with me, and I thought I had flipped all of them back just to get them in the right order, but apparently I missed one, so I had to reshuffle the deck again. And so I'm setting up my life here, and I love this Purple Luffy. I'm having a lot of fun with the list. I think that I'm still like trying to figure out some ratios for different cards, but we end up having some pretty solid matches here. I'll pass on turn 1, and he will cycle out that ulti and picking up, I believe it was a TCG 2k counter. I will use that leader effect to go to 4 though, and I'm just probably going to attack him for 5 here just to see what happens. And no, actually just going to attach 1. And that means that I'm going to be playing down Wire here. Wire just to help me cycle out some of the cards in the future turns. But I wanted to get the card down because, you know, if he does remove it, it does get some cards out of hand. We might get Houndblaze, but he will just go for the ulti here. I'm going to counter out of that first 5k swing though, and ulti is real nice. We were actually talking about it at this exact moment. We were like, yeah, I actually, you don't have to actually reveal the card that you choose when playing down ulti, so he can just take whatever card he wants in secrecy and then place the other 2 either at the top or the bottom. And you know what was funny is he forgot to take the card. He forgot to take the card, and we were laughing about it, but he set up the rest, and it looked as though he had a Greater Eruption and a Houndblaze, so pretty solid to draw into right there. Just having Wire down though is nice because if I do want to play Magellan, which I might, or I might go for like 7-cost Kid, could also play the Poly if we wanted to. So I ramp up to 7 here, and Poly could get us to 8, getting rid of the ulti off the board. And now I can do a little 6k swing with lead and just, yeah, just take a life here. Tommy's going to take it, and I'll pass it back over. Next turn, it would be so nice to have 9-cost Kaido on curve, but unfortunately, just not going to be able to see it this, you know, in hand at the moment. I know that he's going to definitely be wanting to get rid of some of the cards that we have down though. Wire could be a threat, but Tashigi is going to get rid of the, excuse me, lower the Poly, as well as using Greater Eruption into a Houndblaze. And now with this 8k swing, I'm actually just going to take it. I don't believe I had a ton of 2k counters, and I'm picking up a lot of non-counter cards here, unfortunately. Not the non-counter card that I wanted though. I wanted to see a Kaido just to get rid of Tashigi and really present myself with like a really good board. But this was actually where I think I took a turn for the worse as far as the rest of this game is concerned. I ended up messing this turn up quite a bit. I didn't respect the Tashigi enough, if I remember correctly. I end up trashing the 7-cost Kid, and I get to cycle a card using Wire's effect. So this is awesome, just being able to get like a couple of, you know, my dead cards out of hand and build up just a lot of counter power, but also, you know, build up a pretty substantial board here. I'm just thinking of what card I want to trash though, and I decide to go with Poly here. And now I do, this is where I make the mistake. I go 5 into the Tashigi and not 6, and he just easily 2k counters out of it. I don't know, I guess I was thinking that, yeah, he probably won't save the card. You know, it's probably not that, you know, that important for him to go for. And now I'm considering whether I want to swing with Wire or not, and I decide not to. I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm okay. I'll just play Magellan, slow down, you know, what he might potentially have. He probably has a 7-cost Borsellino in hand, so if he does, he can't use that Greater Eruption or that Ice Age into the Borsellino. but we will see a 5k lowering down Magellan here. I am just going to block this with queen though, and now 7 cost can still do its thing though and just get rid of, yeah, the Magellan. And now Tashigi did not get turned sideways, so in order to KO it, we pretty much have dropped everything that we would have needed. So sadly, Polly is not going to be able to get rid of it this turn, and I'll just throw down 7 cost Kid in just for the time being. Bringing leader up to 6, but I do get to cycle with wire, and I'm just like impressed that I haven't seen my 9 cost Kaido yet at this point, but I will just go ahead and pitch a 2k. I didn't really feel as though I needed the 2k counter at the moment because our hand is filled quite a bit with counter, and I am just going to attach the 2 to queen here, and I'll just go another 8 to life. I like how we're looking, not too bad, but this Tashigi does give him options on being able to get rid of my blockers very easily, to lower down Captain Kid to potentially a position that I can't deal with. But luckily, just having leader up at 6, it does force him to attach some Dawn and not be able to, you know, maybe optimize his plays here. If he wanted to swing into anything, it's just going to have to be Queen or Luffy, so going to have to attach that Dawn. Or Borsellino could just try and go for it for 8. He is going to get out some dice here, so now I'm feeling like, oh man, I'm probably about to get Luchi'd here, and I don't have 9 cost to, you know, really punish that kind of play afterwards. It's, yeah, I feel like that card is just so necessary in this matchup, and not seeing it in like at least early enough is pretty detrimental. But Tashigi is going to get rested to bring Captain Kid down to a 5, and now it's just going to be a 1 cost with the Rebecca Hina play here. With 5 Dawn remaining, it looks as though we might see like a 5k swing, you know, lower down Queen by 1, and then a Greater Eruption into like a Rob Lucci. But yeah, we do see the Greater Eruption coming down. This is actually just going to go onto wire, and he's just going to play Rob Lucci, just leaving, excuse me, not leaving the Queen up. Probably going to swing 8 into the Queen, but returning 3 to the bottom of the deck right here for Lucci. I know what's coming, and I know that I'm going to have to probably drop my 0 cost event or just a 2k and a 1k. I do choose to use the 0 cost event though, getting rid of the Eustace Captain Kid blocker. I know that I love that card, and I wanted to keep it, but at the same time, I just don't think I have the luxury at the moment. I gotta try and be as aggressive as possible, but with him having the Rebecca blocker and then me not having much of a board now, I think I'm kind of forced into this position of trying to go as wide as possible, kind of hoping and praying for him to lack some removal. But I will just go 5 to life here, and this is more than likely just going to get a 1k counter out of hand. If it looks as though a lot of his hand doesn't have counter power though, so I will just play the Eustace Captain Kid, and then I'm going to rest 4 for ulti page 1, getting back that 1 Dawn, or yeah, so now we're at 2. I could just attack with Queen for 8 here. I don't hate it, but I think I might actually just save 1 to bluff. No, we won't. I'll just swing 8. I was thinking of maybe saving the 1 to bluff Blast Breath here, but I don't even run Blast Breath in my build at the moment. I was trying it out on the simulator the other day, but just wasn't feeling it too much. I'm gonna go 8k here. If he does choose to take the life, I'm not mad. If he blocks, I'm also not mad. But I would prefer him to take the life, and then I can maybe get lucky and draw into the 9 cost Kaido. But I definitely wanted to go as wide as possible to try and force Tommy here to have to deal with every card that I have on board. If he doesn't have the removal, we more than likely have enough swings to go for game. And that's the tough part, is like, yeah, he could double block here, but that means no cards are being removed off the board. An 8k swing into Queen, I think I might counter, maybe not. I guess it depends, because he does have multiple ways of getting, he would have 4 swings that he could get to at least 6k. And I think that's what he's going to do, is he's going to go that route, is just kind of like bait cards out of hand and go for 6k or maybe even a 7k swing into the queen. I think he's just kind of deciding what number is going to work best for him. But this will be a 6k swing, lowering kid down to a 4 cost. I think this is going into queen, if I'm not mistaken. I would really like to save this. I'd like to protect it, but I also know that I'm in a pretty vulnerable spot. It will take a lot for him to have, you know, all the removal in the world here. Tashigi into Houndblaze does get rid of that that blocker anyways, and then I'll just see another 8k swing going into queen. So Tashigi is going to lower that down. Houndblaze onto the blocker, bringing up Hina. And now he's got another 8k swing, 2 8ks to go into that queen. But this is going to be at life. I will choose to take this one. And now, with how much Dawn he has remaining, he does this absolutely perfectly. He goes 8k into, or excuse me, 9k into life. And I know that I can't get out of the attack of the Rob Lucci if he attaches the rest of the Dawn. So I'm just going to have to counter out of this. But now he's able to pivot pretty well, if I remember correctly. He can just get rid of queen for free by attacking with Rob Lucci and then place down a blocker, and it's going to be pretty tough from there. So 6k does cycle out a few, and I think he actually ended up top decking the Rebecca here, which was so brutal for me. I was like, no. That's like the one card I was hoping he wouldn't see. But he did end up getting that combination of the Rebecca into the Houndblaze here. I was feeling fairly confident, but the Rebecca is going to pick up a 2k counter to Shigi, trashing his own Tashigi, and then bringing down page 1 is going to bottom deck it. And now there is no way for me to get the game. I have to top deck Kaido, and I don't. So I try and choose life, and I don't end up getting it. Sadly, gonna take the L on that game 1, but it was a super solid match all around. I think that had I been able to see 9 cost, I think it would have been a much different story. But that's the hard part of this deck. It feels like, to a degree, I feel like I have to high roll sometimes, especially against the Sakzuki matchup. And we go into a second match here, and this is against my man Quentin. Quentin is running a list that he actually did really well. I think he ended up going 3-0 that night with the list. And he picks up a Houndblaze off of brand new on the turn 1. And now I'm looking to use the leader effect, though, ramp up to 4, and it would be absolutely incredible if we did have the page 1 ulti combo, but unfortunately just going to throw down bins. Still a solid play all around, though. If he wants to get rid of it, it's obviously not that hard, but it is one of the costly costly effects for him to try and do. Now we'll see 5k coming to life. I do choose to take this one. I know that seems a little off. I think I was hoping to pick up a poly, if I'm not mistaken. I could use leader effect here, but I will just go for a 6k swing to life. He does choose to take this one. I'll attach one to lead and go for another 6k. I'm not entirely sure if I'm maybe trying to Magellan this turn or just stay Eustace Captain Kidd. Yeah, so just Kidd here, potentially putting down the 7 cost the following turn. Or can we ramp? Yeah, I guess we could ramp the following turn to 9 Dawn if we do have 9 cost Kaido. I really feel like I need to see that card, but it always just depends on how much removal my opponent sees. 2 brand news, though, is giving him a lot of that removal here. So he can pick up the Houndblaze, or he could pick up the Hina. And I think he mistakenly, if I remember correctly, he put down brand new and was thinking, shoot, I'll take Rebecca. And I was like, oh yeah, you can't take the Dressrosa type. It's got to be Navy. And he was like, oh yeah, I don't even know what I was trying to go for there, but got a second Houndblaze in the hand. It's going to be a little rough to get around putting down cards with... Oh, he's got 3 in hand. Good God. That is terrifying. That is actually terrifying. I guess with 4 Dawn here, he doesn't really have too many plays, though, to do a Houndblaze. I guess you could potentially go like 5 to life, lowering Captain Kidd, Greater Eruption, Houndblaze. But he is just going to go for a 6k. He does have the... Does he have the... Yeah, he does have the Greater Eruption there. Is going to lower... I believe it was Captain Kidd that he pointed at. And with the 6k, I'm just going to block and drop a 1k for it. Yeah, and we'll see the Greater Eruption coming down on the Eustace Captain Kidd and a Houndblaze, pumping up the brand new, though. Brand new is going to swing for 6. I thought that right there, it would have actually been super solid if he had put that onto Borsellino and then attacked with Borsellino into bins, because I almost like 100% would have just let that go in that situation. But oh, look at that. We do draw into our 9-cost Kaido. You love to see it. Queen doing the thing and helping us out here. I don't think that we have... If I had Wire, it would have been really nice to play that this turn. But instead, I think I'm just going to go double 7 here. I'm just going to go 7 to life twice. I'm not really too worried about the brand new. I'm just worried about, like, can I get him low enough on the life, you know, for the following turn. And I choose to use leader effect here and then go 8. I guess I really didn't want him to potentially have a 2k counter, but he blocks with Borsellino because of that 8k swing, so I'm not that upset. Getting the queen getting the queen down, though, does protect me at least from more than likely taking a life this turn, and so I can put down 9-cost Kaido pretty safely. But I would imagine if he's going to use Borsellino here to get rid of the queen, or potentially the bins, we could see like a 6k swing into bins and then lowering down queen and Borsellino just dropping it down. It would be pretty annoying considering you know, if we want to play 9-cost Kaido the following turn, we won't have that blocker to be a little bit of a cushion between between him having Borsellino. Borsellino is in that sweet spot where I can't KO it either with 9-cost. But a little 6k poke here. I am just gonna 2k counter out, and now we'll see a Borsellino getting rid of the queen. So pretty much exactly what I thought would happen, but is unfortunate because I, you know, just would love to keep the... I'd love to keep that queen right there and then get Kaido down the turn after. But now with 10 Dawn, I can definitely see a 5k swing into life, a 7k with bins, and then playing down Kaido. I don't think he has a ton of counter power, so the 1k counter Mancherry right there is really not that bad for me. I'm okay with it. I am just going to subtract 5 though and go a 10k into life. We get him down to no life here, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be in a position where we can go for the game, and we have plenty of counter power in hand, as well as I think like 2 0-cost events with like a couple of non-counter cards. So I'm feeling very good about the position at the moment. He does have a lot of removal in hand, but a lack of counter power. So I believe he's going to have to play down that Sabo that he has in hand. Borsellino into Sabo will at least get him some counter power, but unfortunately getting rid of a lot of his removal here. Yeah, I don't know if he can afford to go for maybe 1 block here and then just go for a removal. He potentially could, but I guess it just depends on what he draws out of the Sabo. If he thinks he has enough counter power to get out of it, I really doubt that he would. But yeah, that would be kind of ballsy to try and go for the reduction onto bins and buff up Borsellino a bit to try and KO the Kaido. With how many cards I have in hand, I probably would just be able to, yeah, just defend the Kaido. And he's going to take the more defensive route, though, and go for a, yeah, go for I'm trying to remember what exactly how I wanted to word this. Yeah, just go for my life, but then go for board here. I know that I want to save the bins because it'll force the 2 blocks at least, and I can potentially go for game. So I'll just counter out with that 0 cost event, bringing bins up to 9. And now we are working with, I think, 6 Dawn. Yeah, working with, no, excuse me, 7 Dawn. That's right, because it's Dawn -5 for Kaido. So 7 Dawn here. I'll just go with 10k. I know that he'll have to block this at least. It's forced. And he does choose to get rid of Sabo, leaving the Borsellino up. I can just attach like a few Dawn and try and go for... oh, interesting. I'm just going to go a little bit more of a scared route. I'll go like 6 into a 7. I had quite a bit of counter power, so I'm surprised that I do choose to go this route, but he does block with the Borsellino, which made me so happy. I was like, okay, 1, it gets rid of a swing for the following turn, but also 2, it does allow me, you know, in this following turn, I can't believe that there's a world where we can't just go for game. And I'm thinking about what card to trash here from Queen. I go for Magellan. I wanted to save the Poly just in case he happens to like play Rebecca this following turn, and I could just Poly into, you know, multiple attacks into life. Is going to use the Ice Age though on the Kaido, and I think he might be trying to go for like a Lucci play or something here. Is going to get Kaido down to a 2 cost though, and now a Houndblaze on Kaido is unfortunately going to let it go, but I think he buffs up brand new here. Again, I guess not surprising, but to a degree surprising. I thought for sure that we would see, you know, like maybe brand new, just or excuse me, Borsellino going heavy into the bins just to make sure that I don't have the attack, and then trying to play a little defensively. But Sabo is going to get at least a little bit of counter power in his hand. I'm going to go ahead and take these life, though. I don't care too much about, you know, what he's got going on. I can just counter power out, and I know that I have enough swings to go for game now. I believe he's only got 3 cards in hand. So with the 1 blocker, we're definitely able to take it here. And yeah, that's the power of having 9 cost on curve. God, it feels good. It feels so good. Well, I shouldn't even say on curve. I guess it was a turn late. It was, you know, it was a turn late, but God, it still felt fantastic to have that card. And now 7 cost, or excuse me, 7k is going to get blocked by Sabo, and then we can just attach the rest to lead. And we do pick up the game here. 10 cost Kaido would have been nice for him to get a little bit earlier into the match, but unfortunate timing there. But super solid matches all around. Would love to know what y'all think about it. And I'm really loving the Purple Luffy list. I'm going to have a couple more matches uploaded throughout the week. So, or I guess weekend, I should say at this point. But yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace.